Hello, everyone. Week 3 is here. So, if you're not already in your Week 3 folder, I'm here for you. As you read, you'll notice this week you have your typical readings. When you have something that's not in a book, we're going to give you a link. So this PMI is a link that you just simply click on, and it will open a document like this for you, and you will use that for this week. It's just this 2-page kind of inductive Bible study page of some things you can do to methodically go through and mark up a passage of scripture, which is essentially what you're going to do this week. The thing that you want to pay special attention to is the difference between observation, interpretation, and application. That is what your quiz will be on this week. So, since I just mentioned the quiz, I'll talk about the other assignments in a second, but you'll take the 3-2 interpretation quiz. And again, that quiz is designed to help you discern the differences between observation, interpretation, and application. So essentially, it is a short quiz. It's only 10 questions. It's multiple choice. And every question has the same 3 multiple choice answers. So you're going to choose, at the end of each question, you're going to choose whether the answer is application, interpretation, or observation. For example, one of the passages says something to the effect of, in such and such a passage, Jesus says he has come to do something. I'm not going to give it away. This means that Christians must not ignore something. So, in other words, in a certain passage, Jesus says that he has come to do something. This means that Christians must not ignore a certain passage of Scripture. That's essentially what that statement says. Then you will essentially respond, is that doing application, interpretation, or observation? It's simply giving you statements, and then you are deciding, you're basically showing that you know the difference between what an observation, an interpretation, and an application is. Another one would be, due to something, Christians should take care of creation. Is that application, interpretation, or observation? Another passage was, in a certain passage, God is given as the subject of something. Is that an application, interpretation, or observation? Another passage says the genealogies given in a certain passage emphasize something. They give what they are emphasizing. Would that be an application, interpretation, or observation? Do you get the idea? Another one are it gives you, there are such and such number of books in the Bible. You're not telling whether it's true or false. You're simply saying, is that application, interpretation, or observation? Does that make sense? So, very simple quiz, and you should all do very well on that if you simply understand the application, interpretation, and observation pieces there. Okay, so that is the quiz, my friends. Now, do not forget, first and foremost, if you guys have not interacted with your groups, I'm getting feedback that several groups are missing one or two people in probably several 3 or 4 groups have said that someone is not interacting with them in the group. That's not telling on each other. That's simply saying, hey, we've got group work and you're not showing up and responding to our messages. That's a big deal, guys. You all need to be interacting. I've reached out to everyone that I've heard is not. If you have not told me and someone in your group is not responding to messages and interacting on your group work, tell me right away, and I will let them know right away. And they will be penalized, and the people in the group will have to adjust the assignment for you so that you're not penalized by that person who's simply not communicating. Okay, so as a reminder, we've got this assignment 2, the Biblical Genre Review Group Wiki. That was assigned last week, so you'd have to go back to week 2 to get those details. I haven't had too many questions about the assignment. Most of the questions have been about interacting with people, or people haven't responded. Again, it's your choice how you guys interact and get that work done together, and you can divide up the work for that project. In this week's project, this week's assignment 3.1, it's going to work a little bit differently, but it is also a group assignment, and it is also due at the end of this week. So you'll have both this assignment 2 from last week and 3.1 due at the end of this week, along with this interpretation quiz, but that is quite easy. There is no discussion board this week, though, so that's where we kind of balance out the workload. Okay? Now, this assignment says to utilize the study tools learned in the Lesson 3 reading to interpret 2 selected passages. So Deuteronomy 6 and Proverbs 3 are your passages. And you will find this in the observation worksheet. That is, well, I'm just going to pull it up for you. Here it is. Oops. There's your observation worksheet. I'm going to let it hide for a second so I can finish going over this. So you're going to open up that worksheet. You just click on it there to open it. And in these passages, utilize the study tools you've learned in all 3 chapters. A condensed list of these study tools can be found at the conclusion of GGW Chapter 5, pages 103 to 104. Cannot be any more clear and specific with you on that. This assignment will be completed in the groups made for assignment 2. So again, you're keeping the same groups. Sorry for those of you that are having difficulty with your groups, but this is a part of life. You're going to have more group work here at Moody Bible Institute, and it's important that you get your group members involved. Everything in life, all of ministry is teamwork. So it's not about being fair anymore, but we do try to be as fair as possible. With that said, it's a great life skill. I know it's odd to be doing group work through distance learning online. It is possible. And this is the first iteration, meaning this is the first time we have taught this interpreting scripture course. It's a new course in FYOP. So I'm going to be honest, how things get turned in. I haven't seen that yet, what it looks like for me as a professor when you turn things in. I'll go over that in a second. So we're just gonna feel it out together. All right. So, but pay attention, because this is a new type of assignment, a group work assignment for you guys, and I want to be crystal clear on how the things work. So again, the intent of using groups in this assignment is that you will learn from your peers' perspectives. Therefore, once the assignment has cycled through every student in the group, each student must again review it so that they can see what others have added. And I don't think I read this part. Each of the 2 passages must be worked on by each student in the group. Do not merely divide up the work. So last week we let you divide up the work for assignment 2. This week you're not dividing up the work. The good news on that, for those of you that have people in your groups that aren't responding or lagging behind, is first of all, I need you definitely to communicate and email me when they don't respond this week, or if they haven't done the same amount of work as everybody else. I need to know, so email me. But at the same time, you're all doing the same amount of work, because you're not dividing it up. Essentially, what I would suggest, probably the easiest, and we give you these Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive. Google Drive is probably the easiest, and it is free, where you can all set up the document. I'd suggest cutting and pasting that observation worksheet over into the Google Drive, and then you all have access to it, and you can make edits together. So the idea is then usually about 4 of you, sometimes 5 of you in a group. So the first student does their thing on the observation worksheet, and then student 2 goes through. You don't have to redo it. You can just add to that first student's, but you basically, the other option is that you can make a Google Drive, and each of you post your own. It's really up to you. The idea is that you're not just like making one person do it and then everyone goes, yeah, that looks good. I want you all to actually do it. So whether that means you do it on your own, and then someone posts one in the Google Drive, and then you compare and add notes based on what you did, or if you all post separate ones and see, and then combine them in another way. The point is that I'm only grading one per group. So everyone in the group, whatever, I mean, if you get to a particular question, you just cannot come to agreement. You need to say, this was a split decision. Some in the group mentioned this and some in the group said this. And you can put the people's names if you'd like to. It doesn't have to get an ugly debate, but if there is literally something in the observation worksheet where you guys just can't agree on, tell us and tell me, and that's going to be noted and graded accordingly. But the point is that I don't want just people, in general, if I see an answer, you can't tell me afterwards if that got marked wrong or corrected, like, well, I really thought this. You all are essentially coming to agreement on something, and need to essentially understand the consequences of that. So everyone is involved in this. Again, that is the benefit and the life lesson of group work. Most things in life are group work. Parenting is group work. Pastoring is group work. Discipling is often group work. So there's going to be countless things where you're like, well, this experience would have been amazing if everything went exactly how I said it should have gone. Well, nothing ever goes exactly how you said it should have gone when it's a group involved, does it? No. So that doesn't mean I'm going to, not take into account you guys' disagreements, but also don't have 5 different answers. Like on answer 1, we were split with these 5 ways. Answer 2, we were split these 3 ways. Answer 3, we were split these 4 ways. You guys should be in agreement on 95% of the stuff. If on the page there's 1 or maybe 2 questions where you guys didn't get agreement on, then you can tell me. But by and large, you need to come to agreement on this worksheet. Okay, enough of that. Let me quickly, because I'm running out of time, because I think I only have 15 minutes on this recording, let me show you this observation worksheet. So you'll see here the things to observe. So this is just kind of a checklist for you to go through. Oh, I tried that. Have I tried that? Have I tried that? And so you can literally go through, use these. I don't want you to make up your own legend. This is literally just directly from your reading, the legend on there. So when you go through the passage that we literally put in there for you, you would, if you find repetition of words, you would highlight in green. If you find cause and effect, highlight in blue. If you see lists, underline them. Comparisons, you comment. Yeah, well, yes, you see that's you put that little thing. So what am I saying? Yes, okay, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The legend is right there for you. At the bottom of each passage, so that's after the passage, answer the following, and we actually have it there for you. So you see, you just have to answer these questions. You do the same thing, mark up Proverbs, and then answer the questions there as well. And so for the questions, it's just very simple. Tone of the passage. Now remember, these are things that are coming out of your reading. So you're not just making up what tone is. Tone, I thought it was loud. Or I thought it was hostile. That was a hostile tone. Hostile tone of Proverbs. You just made that up. You're looking for what from your reading, it mentioned tone, what that is. So you're going to use that language of how they describe what the tone of passages could be, and then you describe what the overall tone of the passage is, and maybe a short description of why you said that. Because if you get it wrong, but you had a good rationale, you're more likely to get more points, aren't we? Yes, we are. Connections to other paragraphs. Oh, I'm going to run out of time. Okay. The point is, if you have questions on what these things are, please let me know. And if you have questions about how to turn it in, please let me know. I'll post that later this week. I'm running out of time on this video. Good luck. Godspeed. Love. to you all.